know we're about a month too late in reviewing this OnePlus 7 Pro, but at the same time we wanted to wear it in and also wait for OnePlus to resolve any unwanted issues that they've had at launch. We're now reviewing the phone with the latest software version after OnePlus has removed most of the issues, especially the ones in the camera department. OnePlus has been known as a good value handset where they've removed all the unnecessary features and delivered a good value for money. But not this year. This year they went down the Pro route and actually upped their price to the most expensive OnePlus ever released. It starts at $669 US or £649 in the UK. But why have they done this? We've spent a few weeks questioning that ourselves. Let me explain what we found. Let's start with speed. As always, OnePlus has stuffed the latest and the most powerful Qualcomm processor into it, the 855. And you can actually get your handset with 12 gigs of RAM. It's kind of interesting. We've been tracking our phone usage and we've never really gone past 5 gig. So if you get an 8 gig version, I think you'll be just fine. I must give a shout out to the software engineers at OnePlus. They took the stock ROM, tweaked it, left it fresh and snappy. The second thing I want to talk about is their display. As you can see, there is no notch. It's an all-screen display with very small bezels. On top of that, they've also made it 90 Hz, so it's also incredibly smooth. But is having an all-screen display good? On the one hand, using the phone for browsing content, Instagram, Facebook, whatever else, it makes it quite cool and it's nice real estate. At the same time, when you're watching movies, I actually stumble onto this problem where my somewhat chubby fingers grip onto the screen and touch it and turn it off or change whatever I'm watching, because there's actually not enough space to hold the screen. And being a full glass screen, you kind of really want to have a grip on it. The other problem is when you're taking pictures. Again, with the big screen, you grab into it trying to take a picture, and I often click onto the side of the screen and it refocuses or changes exposure. And there's a few times when I've actually missed the shot. On the flip side, it is actually phenomenal to play games. The games are in full screen, providing the game supports it, and it is a very immersive effect. But how did they achieve the all-screen display? They've actually didn't remove the selfie cam, which, okay, for me who doesn't really use it, it doesn't really matter, but for others, you still have it. It just now is mechanical. It comes out when you select selfie mode. It's using gyroscopes in the phone to detect when it's falling, and within half a second, it will close the cam. What that means is, if you drop it while standing up, you're probably okay. But if you drop it while sitting down, it probably won't have enough time to retract and it could damage your phone. For me, I would be more worried about the amount of glass that you got on this phone to smash it rather than that camera, because it is a very small camera. You have to aim to break it. While adding the mechanical parts which contain metal and also adding a larger screen. This time around, the screen is 6.4 inches. With the glass back, this phone is noticeably heavy. In fact, that is the first thing I noticed. I picked it up and I went, whoa, I can feel this. It's about 10% more heavy than my Huawei Mate 20 Pro and about 15% heavier than the Samsung S10 Plus. The other thing that concerns me a little bit is they went for a glass back. While that is aesthetically pleasing and, well, it is definitely a nice color, it doesn't have wireless charging. I've been using wireless charger for years now and it's kind of comfortable for me. I use a watch as well. I put my watch and my phone on a cradle and forget about it. With the battery that you get in these devices nowadays, it lasts almost 2 days anyway. So why not include the wireless charger? Yes, I understand that using cable to charge your phone is much faster, especially with the new warp technology that they've included in this phone. We've actually did a side-by-side comparison with Huawei Mate 20 Pro, who has a ridiculously fast charging. Both phones charged in exactly 1 hour and 20 minutes. Well, actually no. 0 to 100, OnePlus was 1 hour and 20 minutes, and Huawei Mate 20 Pro was 1 hour and 22 minutes. But who's counting? Talking about battery life, we were averaging about 38 hours on single charge, and that is including about 6 hours of screen on time. With this size screen, that is a respectable amount. I've mentioned earlier that OnePlus has been removing unnecessary expenses and passing on the cost through cheap devices. I think that's exactly what it did this time around with water and dust resistance. It hasn't got any official certification, but as loads of YouTubers have tested it, including Dave2D, it is actually water resistant. While I would advise you against dunking it in water, I think you'll be safe to walk around in rain. Another thing that this phone doesn't have is a headphone jack. And actually, I'm a person who's been using a Bluetooth headphones for years now, so for me, it's not a big deal. Actually, let me know in the comments below if there is loads of people who are offended at OnePlus by taking out their headphone jack. For me, I'm really happy that OnePlus went the opposite way and spent a lot of time producing incredible speakers. You get proper stereo effect from both sides. It is loud. In comparison to Huawei Mate 20 Pro, these speakers are about twice as loud and 3 times as clear, with a good bass, making it good for consuming content. OnePlus has also included a little switch on the side of the phone for sound, so you can put it to vibrate, quiet, or full blast. I thought it would be a useless feature, but the more I use it, the more I like it. Especially when I'm in a meeting or I'm hanging out with some friends, I can set my phone to whatever the mood I need without even the need of opening the menu. Talking about that, I'm a little bit frustrated at OnePlus by not leaving their always on display, well, always on. You actually have to pick up the phone or click on it to enable it. I hope OnePlus adds it in the next software iteration. We're now in the year of triple cameras being a standard. Huawei have started it, then it moved on to the Samsungs, even the rumored iPhone will have it. Maybe even the Google Pixel. We'll see. OnePlus is not the exception. You got the standard 1x, the 3x zoom, and the wide camera. I must say, I'm a big fan of the wide camera, but at the same time, this is a new territory for OnePlus, so they had to do a lot of tweaks, and this is where a lot of their issues came up. I dare to say, it is probably quite easy to go out and buy a new fancy Sony sensor and stick it in the camera, but at the same time, it is all about the software and how you produce the images, using the profiles and making them accurate, or in some cases like Huawei, making them very punchy and colorful. This is where OnePlus really struggled at launch. The picture profiles were off, the dynamic range was just not there, and the pictures just looked bland. I'm very happy that they listened to all the feedback and produced a very quick update to resolve those issues. It is still not perfect, and actually we're gonna cover that camera app and its performance in a full in-depth video, so subscribe so you don't miss it. Now let's jump into a PC and compare the pictures between OnePlus 7 Pro and Huawei Mate 20 Pro. The reason we chose it is because it's last year's flagship, and I think it makes it a somewhat reasonable competitor. Let's have a look. So in the first picture here, we've got a picture of my parents' cat in a very dim lit environment with a lot of light coming through at the back. It's actually the sunset on the other side, but obviously we can't see it from here. As you can see, the Huawei picture is overexposed at the back and the shadows are just very dark. On the other hand, the exposure on OnePlus, including the dynamic range, is really good. Yes, it had to bump up the ISO to expose properly for the cat, so if you were to zoom in, you'll see that the cat looks like it's made out of clay. But at the same time, it is a lot more usable picture than the one we got on the left. The second picture is, well, a picture of me, and actually here you can see the dynamic range and the color accuracy is much better on the OnePlus, rather than the Mate 20 Pro. Make note of the sky on the top left. OnePlus has really done a good job on preserving the detail. On the other hand, Mate 20 Pro just overexposed it. Let's have a look at the next picture. It's kind of interesting. Huawei has actually made the picture a bit lighter, but a bit more true to life. On the other hand, OnePlus has made the picture way too warm, and it looks nothing like the brick that we had in that place. Next, we have the infamous portrait mode that everybody's raving about. OnePlus delivers only a zoomed in pictures for this mode. First two pictures are with 1x zoom, so you have the portrait mode on Huawei Mate 20 Pro, and you have a standard picture from OnePlus. Now let's check out the portrait mode on OnePlus. It basically is a 3x zoom, and there is no way around it. At the same time, it delivers a great background blur, can almost be compared to one of the DSLR, or at least you can fool one. Next, we were testing the zoom functionality of both devices, starting with a 1x zoom, then a 3x zoom, then a 5x zoom, and finally a 10x zoom. While I agree, the pictures start to deteriorate, it is still cool to see the progress all phones have done and how much you can get out of them nowadays. To conclude, OnePlus 7 Pro now starts to blur the lines between the high-end flagships and a more cheaper options. While the device isn't the best in everything, it does have some determining factors: the speed, the screen, the sound, and even a reasonable camera. It isn't the best, but it is definitely a good enough phone for the average. If you're the kind of person who likes the dollar to performance ratios and can add a little bit more money, this will definitely be an impressive phone for you. At the same time, if you're looking for something a little bit cheaper, then OnePlus 7 standard version just came out, and that might be the version for you. I hope you enjoyed that. Don't forget to smash that thumbs up, subscribe to show your support, and we'll see you in the next one.